Good morning, boys, on a Bears Friday, Sunday night football. Bears and Texans coming up this weekend. Full slate. We get to enjoy Red Zone with the Bears on an island. It's going to be great. How we feeling?
We're very, very good. Thank you very much.
Excited, man. Let's go. Another beautiful weekend weather-wise, I believe.
We'll find out from Tracy Butler at 9:50.
Look forward to it.
I'm trying to figure out the game of the 12 o'clock slate that you're interested in the most, that you'll keep your eyes on. Shay, when you look at this, is it Vikings 49ers?
No.
Is it Packers Colts?
No.
Lions Bucks. That's it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lions,
I think
Bucks.
so.
It's a Fox game. Gonna circle that to see again Baker Mayfield
Playoff rematch.
and the Lions. Yeah. I think that's the one you circle right there. I think that's going to be the key matchup.
For me, it's the Packer game. I want them to, and again, I don't wish any ill will to Jordan Love. I hate seeing guys get hurt. Wake up and find out what it's like to have a crappy quarterback. Good luck. Wake up like the rest of us did for decades. Oh, God. Who are we got out there? Quarterback? Jonathan Quinn, Mitch Trubisky, whoever it is. Oh, you don't have Aaron or Favre or Love. Take that. I want them to suck on it all weekend going, this sucks. That's the game.
So you like the Packers, Shay?
We'll find out. We'll find out in about 15 minutes when we go through the picks.
All right. That would be Cap's biggest nightmare.
Kaplan, suck on that.
Then was it?
If Malik Willis goes out and throws for 3 touchdowns and 295, yeah, I'll be sick.
Yeah. Here's Shay Norling.
All right. I want to start with Ryan Poles. He talked about one of the worst moments of his professional life over a job that he didn't get. Take a listen.
One of the hardest moments I had was not getting the Carolina job. That was my first interview, and I thought I did really well. I prepared really well. I was, you kind of feel in the zone when you go through the interview process. It started with Zoom and then it was in person. It's not talked about much, but you come up with this philosophy based on your experience and you share how you want to go about changing this organization and putting them in a really good position. And when you don't get the job, you go back to your old job. You've already mentally put yourself in a leadership position, especially in the GM job. And then you have to go back to the old philosophy where you basically were like, all right, I took these good things from what we do now. I don't like these things, so I'm going to toss that out, but you got to go live in that and you got to be supportive to your group. It was the first time I felt like mental health, disappointment, frustration. Like I had a lot of that when I returned back to Kansas City, and it was eye-opening. And it allowed me to start to put structure together, an executive coach, clinician, to tap into to express some of these feelings that I was going through, because I didn't feel like I was a great teammate to my group when I got back. I was more angry and frustrated because, I had this great plan and now I don't get to do it. The other thing is my agent challenged me to say, hey, where are your blind spots? So you look at your interview and you obviously didn't know everything, the things that you felt short on, let's go attack those. It just, the personal growth and development process kicked off, and it was always there, but it took another step for me where I have to go find answers and things that maybe I don't have in Kansas City, and that didn't allow me to have the answers to those questions. I got to go out and figure those things out. So from a performance standpoint, from analytics standpoint, I got to go seek that information so that I have answers and I can put a team together when I have the opportunity to.
There you go. Ryan Poles on the personal toll he took from not getting the job in Carolina. Shot or no shot. Ryan Poles nuked the Panthers franchise out of revenge.
That's personal pride. That's a shot. Yeah. I don't think that's number one on the list, but I think that he takes solace in the fact that, I'm running the Chicago Bears. Probably lucked out more times. And when you think about it, he's with the Chicago Bears. Carolina, that ownership, he actually is in a much better spot.
No question. Things happen for a reason. I'm going to say no shot because whoever he was doing that deal with for the number one pick, he was going to nuke their franchise because he had multiple teams coming after him. Does he take some revenge factor where he's like, yeah, take that? that it was them? Certainly. He's human, man. You get turned down for a job, you want to beat the people that turned you down. But I think if he had dealt with the Saints or the Raiders or the Seahawks or the Rams, he was going to nuke whatever franchise it was because he had the number one pick.
Here's my side of it, though, because I think the revenge did play a factor. If he's doing the deal with the teams you mentioned, he doesn't have the inside knowledge on their operation potentially that he has with Carolina. And he also doesn't have the little added motivation to really stick it to them. Carolina, he would know, having gone through the process, has a lunatic owner in David Tepper, and probably knows the GM at the time, Sean Fitterer, a little bit. I think he was like, look, I've got other offers. I can trade this pick to anyone. You are who I want to work with, and I'll stick it to you a little extra because you didn't give me the gig.
Absolutely. There's a little personal pride with that. And luckily for Ryan Poles that he's with the Bears, because he was with Carolina, he'd be out on the street. Here's Shane Orlick.
Because his owner would have overruled him and said, you're taking Bryce Young.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're giving up a fortune for him.
I'm just saying, Shay, that he has full autonomy with the Chicago Bears. He's got a clean slate that even Jerry Angelo didn't get. Clean slate. Hey, George, and dealing with George McCaskey, which is totally different than dealing with Ted Phillips.
What year did Jerry Angelo join the Bears?
Was it late 90s or early 2000?
I think it was late 90s because
2000.
I'm going to look because people forget we didn't have a GM till Jerry Angelo did not have a GM.
Nope.
Which is just insane. He joined the Bears in 2001.
2001.
Through 2011. So he was here 10 years.
You know, people won't believe you when you say that. They think it's hyperbole.
They're like, what do you mean they didn't have a GM? They didn't have a GM. They had one, Jerry Vanisi. That was Ditka's guy.
Mm-hmm.
Mike McCaskey, rest in peace, fired him. Out. See you later. Thanks for coming. And then he was intimately involved in the day-to-day operation. Like he was a lousy version of Jerry Jones as an executive. And then finally, they got so much. They had Mark Hatley, Rod Graves, good guys running personnel, but they weren't the GMs.
Mm-mm.
He was.
So that's
horrible.
That's something. So, you know, I would say that is a shot regarding polls. All right, Jay, what else do we have?
Matt Eberflus talked about his confidence that Caleb Williams is progressing, so the progress is there. He also said the first 3 or 4 weeks will be a learning experience for Caleb just to learn what the Bears offense wants to do in any given situation, get up to speed with the rest of the NFL. 3 or 4 weeks, shot or no shot. Eberflus set a timeline, 4 weeks, and we'll see it from Caleb Williams.
That's a shot. Sooner than later.
Yeah, he's a good football player, man, and it's going to take a little time. I don't know if they're going to win on Sunday, but yeah, 4 weeks, I better see progress. Agreed. Fair enough.
Shay.
Concussion aside, I want to ask about Tua because last night before he got hurt, he was terrible. And that might be in poor taste because of how the game ended, but it is what it is. He threw 3 interceptions. The pick 6 was atrocious.
You're reporting the facts. Nothing wrong with that.
It was awful.
Yep.
He also made big news in the offseason. Big splash financially, became one of the 5 highest paid quarterbacks in the sport. He also joins some of the highest paid quarterbacks in the sport who are very disappointing early this season, including Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, of course, Deshaun Watson. As the price goes up, it feels like the caliber of quarterback weighted against how much they cost. That gap just keeps getting wider. Shot or no shot, the quarterback market is a bubble that's going to pop.
That is a shot.
Owners are going to get tired of paying insane money for mediocre play. They're going to go, no, not doing it. You know, Dak Prescott puts up huge numbers, earns his contract. Great. But they are not going to give the Danny Jones and some of these other guys who are less than stellar quarterbacks. They're not going to pay them.
Okay, well then, fine. You don't have to pay them. But you know what? Then you got to start developing better.
No doubt.
I mean, no, I'm serious now. Like, if you're not going, because this is, you know, Dak's got his money and Tua's got his money and all that. Daniel Jones got his money. All right, fine. So if you're not going to pay through the nose for the quarterback and you want to be able to pay for quarterbacks on a lower rate, then if you can't keep them, then the next guy in the pipeline's got to be ready. This is the problem with this league, Cap, is so many really good quarterbacks are getting paid a lot that's not getting you to the Super Bowl. Okay, so from college to the pros, you just can't say he's our backup and he's expendable. No, you have to take solace in the fact that we have a quarterback that we like that's our backup, and he's going to be the next guy. That's how it used to be.
Agreed.
So if you don't want to pay big time salaries to quarterbacks, and you say, "Well, I can't pay that," well then why is your backup sucks? Why is your backup so bad? Because you don't develop your backup.
Correct. That's why the Jayhawk, our boss, the Jayhawk Danny, he sent us a text last night after Tua got hurt.
Yep.
Could you trade Bagent down there? No.
Absolutely
I got
not.
Bagent locked up for this year and next year at like $900,000, like nothing in NFL terms. And he looks like he's got a chance to be a pretty decent football player in the National League, maybe even better than that. Why would I do that?
No, that's Tannehill, and he's waiting for the call.
Yeah. Go back to Miami.
Yes.
Have Tannehill do what you want. I would extend Tyson Bagent. I would. In this league, we see guys get hurt all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I need him. Knows my systems, well liked in the room, looks like he's a player. I would extend him this season.
There's a number of teams we can look at in this National Football League that don't know what they're going to do next year with their quarterback. And one of them is like Pittsburgh. Justin's not the long-term answer, and neither is Russell Wilson. So what are they going to do? You got anybody in the pipeline? You tried with Kenny Pickett for a year. That didn't work. So what are you going to do? Well, we'll just find someone from the scrap heap and we'll just put him in there for a year or two. No. Develop a quarterback. Have a system and develop your quarterback. And then when it gets to a point where you don't think you can pay him, have someone else in the pipeline and get that ready.
Correct. That's why I was glad they brought Austin Reed back on the practice squad. Maybe he'll never make it. But guess what? Keep running these guys out there and trying. By the way, Tom Waddle texted the two of us. You want to read that?
Oh, I have my phone on me. Go ahead. It's my bad.
Hey, Cap, after hearing the Poles sound, I think you need to put your pants back on. It's an HR violation. Okay. I mean, yeah, I love Ryan Poles. I'm a big Ryan Poles fan. And that was great audio, Tommy. I had a cigarette in the studio. Sorry.